So, customer brought over the yerf-dog here. Says he wants me to go through it, check it out, make sure everything's good, ready to go. He's got this AM engine on there. I've never seen nothing like that. He said he picked that up brand new for a pretty good price. So he needs a chain, a throttle cable, a steering wheel. He needs me to go through all the bolts, make sure everything's done, put some new bolts in the engine to bolt the engine down. He had the wrong bolt in the crankshaft holding the torque converter kit on, so luckily he never tightened that down and messed up the threads. So he did put the torque converter kit on with the wrong threads. That's a given, but a lot of people make that mistake. Not a big deal. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull the engine off, we're going to put new throttle cable on it, we're going to put some little rubber spacers or whatever, take a little bit of vibrations out in between the engine and the plate, check it out, put some air in the back tires, throw some slime in them, and wire everything up, get it going for him. He does have to bring me a seat, and so for payment he brought me this Honda engine here, and it starts and runs pretty easy. So I told him, yeah, that was cool, I'll take the Honda engine. He also brought me a 30 series torque converter kit with a 1-inch shaft. They sent him the wrong part on some stuff he ordered, so he sent that to me. He gave me that, and he gave me this engine to get this yerf-dog going for him. So I said, yeah, that's a fair trade. There ain't too much labor in this. I could probably have this done in about an hour. I can see a lot of stuff he's got going on that's not correct here. I might have to put a new brake pad on there for him also, but I got one in stock here. That's not a big deal. You know, at most I'm out 40-50 bucks worth of parts. Throttle cable, chain, steering wheel, a used steering wheel that I had on the shelf that I pulled off another Kart, and a brand new brake pad, so maybe 40-50 bucks worth of labor. But yeah, what do you say we start with the throttle cable, throw a new throttle cable on this thing, fix the rear bolts holding that rear swing arm, throw the steering wheel on, tighten up these tie rod ends because one of them's loose for sure, and check that brake, and we'll go from there. We'll knock stuff out in order. What do you say? Do it. Alrighty. Well, we're going to start by pulling the old throttle cable off. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this little clip that's on here. We're not going to need this no more. But I will save this clip because these actually come in handy. Next, we're going to put our throttle cable on. And if you'll look, this throttle cable has an eyelet already on it. That is why we are not going back with the original hardware there. Now, I'm not going to tighten this up yet because this is a sliding adjuster. Next, oh, that's already loose. Look at that. So, let's get rid of that. Some of you may be asking, well, why would you get rid of that barrel? Because my new throttle cable already has one on it. It's got a threaded barrel on the end of the cable already. Let's get that on there. Tighten that up with some wrenches. Alright. So, I'm going to pull this air box off. And we'll keep these right there. Turn your choke off and your gas off. Oh, this reminds me of the early Predators. A little overkill on everything. Alright, got you off. So, the first thing, I don't know if you noticed, but there's nowhere to hook up your throttle to. Right here or here. So luckily, all the Predator engines come with two, and we really only use one. So I've got a couple extra. So let me go find one of these. But to put it on, I'm going to have to remove this. So, and they haven't even loosened that bolt up yet. Let's go ahead and pull this off without tearing that nut up. Same as the we go get a little pair of pliers, get that off. I definitely don't want to tear the spring up, but I want it off of there. Then you got your throttle linkage, governor arm. There she is. Some people remove this bushing here. There's nothing wrong with it. I leave it on there. As long as you don't tighten that lock nut down all the way, then you're good. So, alright, I'm going to add a throttle piece in here. Little throttle barrel. Give me 1 minute. Let me find one. So, this bad boy is what's causing all the drama. So there's nothing over here to hold the throttle cable. So I'm going off the back. I'm going to go in right here. Basically, just put it in here. And I stole this off an old Predator engine I have. Because like I said, there's two on both ends of this thing. So now, take my pliers here. Oh, and crimp this back on if I get it on there right. Just got to hold your mouth right. See? Ah.
2 hours later.
Alright, let's put this back together. Alright, so now we'll put that spring back on there. Now we'll put that on there. That on there. We're going to put our lock nut on there. Oh, I got an 8 on here. Hold on. Alright. That's perfect, guys. So now, let's go rob this little clip right here off the Predator engine. Robbing stuff. Alright. Let's see if this is even going to work. It's definitely not the right bolt, but I think we can make that clip right there work. What do you say we find a bolt to go in there? Well, that appears to be the only bolt I can find. We're definitely going to have to cut her down. So let's put some nuts on here, cut it down, pull the nuts off. So I cut the nut down. There we go. Alright, we got her. We got her in hot water. Oh. Now, I'm going to have to step that hole up just a little bit. If it ain't one thing, folks, it's another, let me tell you. Alright, so I just took my little step drill bit from Harbor Freight there and wallered that out to the first setting. Now they got some old zip ties running along the frame down there. Let you barely see that. So we'll cut these zip ties off. See if we can even cut them. Oh yeah, we can cut those. Those ain't very big. Alright, we got that old throttle cable housing out of there. Here's another old zip tie. We'll get rid of that. Oh yeah. Let's put some new zip ties right there where those were. Alright. Snap. I left a little slack there. There we go. Alrighty. You see how that's going to work, don't you? So yep, throttle cable will go right through there. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the throttle cable through. We'll get that done. Right. Now, I'm going to slide that jacket in all the way so it'll go. Then I'm tightening it down. Right there. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to go about right there. And the reason I'm not cutting this throttle cable, so it's already heat tempered on the end, so the don't flare out. The threads don't on the wire cable. So I'm going to leave it just like it is. We're going to go ahead and attach this right in here, and then I might pull a little bit out. What I like to do sometimes, if it's a little long, instead of cutting it, I'll just zip tie it right here, so it'll always be just like that, out of the way. Let's get this done. Okay. Yep, this no-name engine was cheap enough. It just didn't have all the little amenities. Had nowhere, you know, it had the hole there, but it had no way for you to mount your cable. It had no way for you to hook up the cable. Like I said, you get what you pay for, but I think me having all the little extra parts, he turned out really well in his favor. Me having an extra barrel, me having this extra cramp, stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna get it going for him. Now, like I said, I think I'm gonna throw a zip tie right there. It's gonna hold that just like so. Just a little trick I've learned putting a lot of these things together. See that? Well, let me pull the engine, put these spacers in between the engine there, these rubber spacers, take out some of the vibrations, and we'll go from there. Yeah, it's a big ass sprocket, and it's got a little play in it. I really want to pull this torque converter off, but he has the wrong bolts in here. So I'm not pulling this torque converter off. These bolts are what comes with the 30 series torque converter kit, and they do not thread in the side of this engine. These are 5/16 by 24 threads. And well, at least on the Predators. Another thing I noticed is there's a rubber seal around the inside of this, and when he brought me this engine, this will actually be spinning on that rubber seal the whole time. So I've done away with this for him, and I'm actually going to go get the correct part that I have that needs to be on here for him also. I got it in the parts room. So regardless, let's pull the engine and yeah, put these spacers in between there. Let's see what you got. Not a lot left to show. We'll get rid of his bolts. I'm going to use grade 8. Alright, let's get rid of all this hardware. Oh my god. That bolt's like wedged in there. We'll get it. We will get her. Let's get the rest of them out first. Wow, buddy. What the heck you got going on there? Well, he's got some craziness going on. So what we are going to do, that bolt is like locked in there. I'll put a nut back on it so I don't tear the threads up, because I might end up having to use it. I don't know how they did that, but there is a bolt wedged in the frame there. Never nothing easy. Let's not let him do that again. Alright. Well, I'm going to have to move you guys and get back here and look at some alignment issues. Bring y'all to the front. I'm just going to check some alignment. So this torque converter kit's going to have to come off. That's why that bolt was wedged up in there. So, alrighty. I'm assuming this is the original hardware because I've seen a whole bunch of them. Well, they don't look that bad. We are going to set them there because we are going to have to reuse these. Off of here. Let's pick up this other bolt. Now, our alignment issue was where this screw hole is. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that hole, they actually drilled out the sidewall there. Anyway, we're going to grind this down flush so the engine can be where it's supposed to be. And like I said, this is just a piece of cast iron that they made it wider here so that they could drill us and tap it for the cover. We don't need that.
few inches later.
I think that's gonna do it. So before we stick this back on here, let's get our rubber spacers. Put 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And what I do is sandwich these in between these washers I ordered. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, get this done. 3 and 4. Alright, so now I need some grade A bolts. Alright, man, let's go ahead, set these up. Come on now. I need a better way to do this, don't I? There we go. Oh yeah, plenty of meat down there. Alright, I'm going to go to the back, do the 2 in the back the same way.